Manipur reports 579 new COVID-19 confirmed cases out of 3,164 test results and 15 deaths in 24 hours. That toll reaches 476. Normal life hugely affected on the second day of curfew imposed at 7 districts in the wake of second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Police continue to detain curfew violators. India reports a single-day spike of above the 4,03,000 new COVID-19 cases and 4,092 deaths in 24 hours. Recovery rate stands to 82.15%. And Hemanta Biswa Sharma will succeed Sarvanand Sonowal as the Chief Minister of Assam. Outgoing Assam Chief Minister Sarvanand submits his resignation to Governor Jagdish Mukhi. Hello and welcome to Impact News. You're watching Sunday Primetime, the English Bulletin, and I'm KANEL SHAMBANDURAM with you. Impact TV wishes our viewers a very happy Mother's Day. To stay protected from coronavirus, wash your hands frequently, wear your masks properly, and maintain a safe distance from one another. Please remember that the fight against the COVID-19 is not over yet. Now the news in details. Manipur reported 579 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 out of 3,164 test results received today. All necessary medical precautionary measures like containment and contact tracing are in place. As per State Health Department and COVID-19 Command Control Room, the press release at 5 p.m. today, total confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Manipur has reached 35,354. 15 COVID patients died in the past 24 hours, rising the death toll to 476. The deceased persons are 7 from Imphal West, 6 from Imphal East, and 1 each from Vishnupur and Kakching. On the second day of a curfew imposed at 7 districts in the wake of a second wave of COVID-19 pandemic, roads were deserted looks in various areas of Imphal West and Imphal East district as movement was strictly restricted except for essential and medical emergencies. District police kept the strict whistled since morning. Main business transaction centers including Pauna and Thangal markets remained closed. Police issued challans to those shops owners who violated curfew. Police detained curfew violators. Police personnel appealed short for public corporations and further warned of stern actions against curfew violators. Normal life was affected in Kakching district on the second day of curfew imposed at 7 districts. Main market in the district, namely Kakching Market, Palil Market, Hyanglam, Wabagai Market, Sugnu Market, and shops remained closed. Though oil pumps, pharmacies and banks were opened, roads were deserted looks as movement was strictly restricted except for essential and medical emergencies. District police yet detained curfew violators at various places. Kakching MLA M. Rameshwar appealed to people to abide by the curfew and stay indoors. He was speaking on the sideline of spraying disinfectants at markets, hospitals, COVID care centers and community home isolation centers in Kakching district by members of BJP Kakching Mandal today. MLA M. Rameshwar said government announced the curfew in the wake of COVID situation in the state. He termed people violating curfew as unfortunate. He sought for public cooperation in overcoming the disease. Yanglam MLA Dr. Y. Radhesham said intense COVID-19 situation in the state is the consequence due to disobedience of the guidelines issued by government from time to time. He was speaking during COVID-19 Awareness Cum Enforcement Committee meeting of the constituency held at Langmaidong today. MLA Radhesham said COVID-19 cases are increasing in Kakching district. He appealed to people to follow COVID-appropriate behaviors. He further encouraged people to get vaccinated. A subcommittee to look after the community home isolation center at Langmaidong and give the COVID awareness was formed on the occasion.
Punna laminaba saksanaba sanayunaiba deva karma miyamna tinba aduga SOP thawaidaba mayam singasina tholakpa positive case ngasi thingnaba damukta aikhoi mayam se awareness pinaba publicity ama tawba maduda ilaktaba kamududi enforce tawdana motion namdana gyan tahanbane simbai thap phokta koi tawsi adana koi siwarab nare.
A team led by Wangkhem MLA K. Megachandra today inspected the condition of the IFCD campus and building in Yaripok Vishnu Naha in the Wangkhem constituency for setting up a community home isolation center for the constituency. Speaking on the sideline, MLA K. Megachandra declares that the center is all set to operate from tomorrow onwards. DC Taubald, ADM Taubald, STO Taubald, SDPO Yaripok, CMO Taubald, Oshi Yaripok Police Station and the members of local youth clubs took part in the inspection visit.
Wangkhem SHG manung dalaiba COVID ke infection tawba mayam ama kendra gi oina sida thamgadawa hojikna IFCD office oina sam rifle lerambado chatkhraga masidai sida hayeng dagi pongjana nabigi damakta thawal DC na so order ma thokre loinana ngasi asam rifle lerambado thokraga hayeng dagi hona community home isolation center mafam sida lainena bigi ready da tawre si any positive oibasing ma pau tv rakpa aduga mafam sida isolation leidana yum kai adagi toilet fazana leitaba adagi COVID positive oiba mayam singdo mafam sida isolation center sida leinena bigi ready da tawre.
COVID sample collection center of Imphal West district has shifted from Sagolband Lamkai Panchayat Ghar to TG Higher Secondary School. As per a notice by DC Imphal West, services related to sample collection will start at the new center starting tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. except on Sundays. A public campaign to tackle the second wave of COVID-19 was carried out at Lamlai today. Bharatiya Janata Party Lamlai Mandal organized the campaign. BJP Lamlai Mandal Vice President Kumanjao Kabui flagged off the campaign from the Sawombung Bazaar. The campaign was carried out across various places of Lamlai constituency. Campaigners also distributed face masks, hand gloves, sanitizers to the public. Agriculture Minister Kam the Wangoi MLA Oinam Lukhoi today distributed COVID-19 relief items to family residing in containment zone areas of the constituency. He appealed to the public to abide by COVID-19 related SOPs issued by the state government at all time to ward off the disease. The minister urged to all those who are eligible to get themselves vaccinated against COVID-19. COVID-19 relief items were distributed to families residing in containment zone areas of the Wangkei constituency. The items were distributed under the initiative of ex-Minister Okram Henry. Kundrapam Kendra Development Committee under the aegis of local MLA continued distributions of the relief items to deplorable families of the constituency. Food items were also distributed to 80 households of the Maka Laikai, Harauro, Chinku, Tangkham, Awang Laikai, Wakong Maka Laikai, Kumuda and Kundrapam Mayai Laikai. General Secretary of the National People's Party, Manipur, Chungkhamd Vijoy, extended relief items to residents of the Patsoi Assembly constituency today. Chungkhamd Vijoy also appealed to people to follow COVID-appropriate behaviors. Chairman of Arambai Agri and Allied Private Limited, Ilangbam Soviet, also distributed relief materials including hand sanitizers, face masks and medications to families residing in containment zone areas of the Kendra of the constituency today. The items were distributed to 16 families of Tangkhamd Makha Lekai and various households of Kundrakpamd Makha Lekai. Social worker Bekam Kongkamd today distributed water to residents of Ward number 3 of Thangmaiband who are facing water scarcity issues. The residents also expressed happiness upon the help. BJP Manipur Pradesh presented face masks to Impact TV today. Convener of the BJP Manipur Pradesh Trade Cell NG Bijain and the co-convener and Uday handed over the face masks to Chief Bureau of Impact News Aribam Prem Sharma. State government has issued an order to reinstate KH Ibotombi as a Chandal district fishery officer. Denouncing the reinstatement notice, members of Chandal district fishery farmers development committee carried out a protest demonstration today. Fishery Minister S. Rajain has appealed to those concerned not to hold protests against the same. Rajain said that KH Ibotombi had earlier held the post of a Chandal district fishery officer. He asserted that Fishery Inspector Sumi P. Kim had replaced Ibotombi as a fishery officer in charge for a short period during her posting in the head office. He maintained that the state government issued the order following Guwahati High Court's order to reinstate Ibotombi as Chandal district fishery officer.
Sandan District Fishery Farmer Association da yang appeal tawningi hauji COVID-19 gi second wave da pasina maram morakanda prajamiyam da mipaina dana lenge matamda sarkar na matam gi oiba department gi oiba adugumba policy program local pakanda Farmer Association na prabhab tanata badagi ko chanjal libo kongchang adu piu koina na hairiba district officers sumi pikamdi masagi asengba inspector ni aduga Ibotombina project officer ni aduna Guwahati High Court ki order do ikona comply tawni.
Manipur Handloom and Handicraft Corporation distributed weaving machines, shoeing machines and electric sewing wheels to women weavers of the Wangoi constituency today. Manipur Handloom and Handicraft Corporation, the chairman Sagol Sem Achauba, distributed the items to altogether 25 beneficiaries of the constituencies during an event held at his residence in Wangoi. Speaking on the sideline, as Achauba said that the items were distributed to ease the economic plights facing the destitute people in the wake of the second wave of COVID-19. The chairman assured to distribute waving threats to the waivers once the curfew is lifted. The event was held by following COVID-19 related SOPs. President of the Manipur Students Federation MSF, the District Committee Jiribam Atom Rajiv appealed to state government to look into the schools at far-flung areas to make school Fagat Hansi mission successful. In a video released by the committee today, Atom Rajiv said constructions of 6 primary schools and 1 upper primary school at various areas of Jiribam, which started 6 years back, are yet to complete. He added both first and second installment for constructions of Rashidpur Primary School, Goakhalt Chingdong Laikai Primary School, Ningthembam the Part 2 Primary School, Dolakhal the Primary School, Gokhal Primary School, Saluk Phai Primary School and Bakhal Upper Primary School were sanctioned. He added some locals have even raided domestic animals at the known completed building of the school. Atom Rajiv appealed to those concerned to take up actions against contractors concerned.
2014-15 dagi saba hokiba adugumba school ngasi phawda loisandana leiramba yamna mong sadana leiba thengnaki hairiba school sing aduda school adu matam kuina yengselaktabana maram oiraga napi songjanbadagi sangba yadaba gi condition da leiramba hairiba school singduga laikai singna san punjanbadagi sangi makon gumna sangon gumna lehoba hairiba school sing aduda yum thangnaba singna pot hajalamba thangnaba yum singna aikoi bhara sanoba adugumlaba High school, Tariat Sigi Manunda, Kayamaroma, Tinaze, Marilena authority Nasu Junction Bidabasi, Masita Sena, Jeribam, the Lady, Mahiro Singi in the day, Tasena Live of Tibani.
Ningthau Sanamahi Temple Board condoled the untimely demise of Ningthaujam Iboyaima from the Kumbi Lai Sandong, who was an important member of Ningthau Sanamahi Pena Loishang. Board members paid tributes to the departed soul and also shared the grief of the bereft family. Well, now it's time for a small commercial break. After the break, we bring you news on coronavirus update in India and the world. We will be back with details after the break. Until then, keep watching Impact News.
You are watching Impact TV. Engaging, empowering and impacting lives.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Sunday Primetime English Bulletin. India has reported 4,03,738 new COVID-19 confirmed cases in the past 24 hours. As per the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, India's COVID tally has reached 2,22,96,414 and there are 37,36,648 active cases. That total stands at 2,42,362 with the addition of the 4,092 new COVID-19 fatalities. On the positive note, the 3,86,444 people were discharged in the past 24 hours, rising the total recovered cases to 1,83,17,404. India's recovery rate stands at 82.15%. Maharashtra has the highest active cases of above 6,30,000 in the country. Over 16,94 lakh people have been vaccinated against COVID-19 in India so far. Globally, coronavirus has infected above 15,84,03,000 people. Above 32,98,000 people have died and recoveries are above 13,59,03,000. USA has the highest active cases of above 64,53,000 in the world, followed by India and Brazil. United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has acknowledged that the SARS-CoV-2 virus behind the COVID-19 pandemic is airborne and can be transmitted through very fine aerosols particles released during respirations. This means that wearing doubled face masks, hand hygiene and maintaining at least 6 feet of social distancing will be best ways to avoid being exposed to COVID-19. The CDC updated its public guidelines on Friday, where it mentioned that SARS-CoV-2 is transmitted by exposure to infectious respiratory fluids. The agency said that while talking blocking people to release respiratory fluids, which then settled on nearby surfaces. Arcane remained suspended in the air. It also mentioned that the larger droplets settled out of the air rapidly within seconds to minutes, while the very fine droplets and aerosol particles can remain suspended in the air for minutes to hours. The agency also noted that although infections through inhalations and distances greater than the 6 feet from any infectious sources are less likely, an infectious person exhaling viruses indoor for an extended time more than 15 minutes and in some cases hours can lead to concentration of the virus in the air, which may then infect people even if they are 6 feet away. The CDC guidelines updates comes nearly a month after a paper was published in the Lancet journal on April claiming that the SARS-CoV-2 virus is predominantly transmitted through the air. Anti-COVID therapeutic treatment drug 2 deoxy-D-glucose 2-DZ approves for emergency use by Drug Controller General of India DCGI. It's very easy to produce and consumed. Defense Resources and Development Organization DRDO said the drug helps in the faster recovery of hospitalized patients and reduce supplemental oxygen dependence. The 2-DG drug developed by DRDO's Nuclear Medicines and Allied Sciences INMAS and Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Hyderabad. The drug comes in powder forms in seconds, which is taken orally by dissolving it in water. Second phase trial of the 2-DG drug was carried out at 110 COVID-19 patients at 17 hospitals of the country from May to October last year. Third phase trial commenced since November last year at 27 COVID hospitals of Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The report from the trial claimed that the drug reduces supplemental oxygen dependence for those above 65 years. RT-PCR test results of the drug users resulted negative. It also claimed that the drug accumulates in the virus-infected cells and prevents virus growth by stopping viral synthesis and energy productions. The DRDO says that the 2-deoxy-D-glucose 2-DG drug can easily be produced and made available in plenty in the country since it is a generic molecule and analogous of glucose. Himanta Biswa Sharma will succeed Sarvanand Sonowal as the Chief Minister of Assam. Outgoing Assam Chief Minister Sarvanand Sonowal submitted his resignation to Governor Jagdish Mukhi today. At the legislature party meeting held in Guwahati today, Sonowal had proposed the name of Sharma after Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave his approval for Sharma's elevation, and it was seconded by the MLAs. The BJP won the second straight term in the recently conducted assembly polls in the state. The party won 60 states in the 126th members assembly, while its alliance partners AGP got 9 seats and UPP held 6 seats. In the 2016 assembly poll, the BJP had projected Mr. Sonowal as its chief ministerial candidate and won, forming its first government in the northeast. This time, the party had maintained that it would decide who would be the next chief minister after the election. Sharma, who switched to the BJP from the Congress 6 years ago, is credited as the architect who brought the northeast states within the party's grasp. He also handled the health portfolios in the Sarvanand Sonowal government. Himanta Biswa Sharma had quit the Congress government of Tarun Gogoi in 2015. He then promptly joined the BJP, becoming its key strategies for the Northeast. The next year, the BJP won the spectacular victory in the assembly elections in Assam, sweeping aside the Tarun Gogoi government, which rules the state for 3 successive terms. The Chief Minister's post went to Sarvanand Sonowal, who was the sports minister in the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government, and Sharma was made the chief of convener of the Northeast Democratic Alliance (NEDA), a BJP-led front of the anti-Congress party. International Peace and Social Advancement IPSA had urged the state government to unconditional release of IPSA Assistant Information and Publicity Secretary Okramt Amarjit alias Toy, who was arrested by the police for posting comments on social media regarding the recent incident at Mount Kobru Shrine. It may be mentioned that unknown miscreants uprooted recently planted saplings and the Salai Thread flag at Mount Kobru Shrine. IPSA condemned the arrest and urged the state government to instead arrest those involved in the incident at the earliest. The Rising Sun clubs also condemned arrests of some IPSA members for making posts on social media platforms regarding demolition of Shalai flagged at Mount Kobru Shrine. The press release from the clubs also appealed to authorities concerned to look into the matter. One RTI activist has alleged CEO of Senapati District ADC Kapudang and 4 members of the council of giving money from the development fund meant for tribal people to a fraction of NSC and IM and threatening 4 RTI activists. The activist has also urged National Investigation Agency to investigate the matter. According to Impact News sources, 4 RTI activists from Senapati District filed an RTI to CEO of Senapati District ADC regarding development funds meant for Phaibung, Karong, Ngairi and Phoba. The CEO failed to reply and also kept quiet when Manipur Information Commission directed to respond to the matter. 1 month after filing the RTI, the NSC and IM faction allegedly threatened the 4 activists. Out of the 4 activists, 3 are hiding and 1 is confined at home. Chief Information Commissioner of the Manipur Information Commissioner, even after filing a written complaint to DG, no steps have been taken up so far. The activists appealed to investigate the matter at the earliest. Amid curfew, a team of Nongpok Shekmai police stationed OC, including women's personnel, arrested 4 individuals in possession of the 5 kilograms of opium during a frisking operation near Tumkhong Larinbi at IVR of Chandrakhong village foothills around 4 p.m. yesterday. During the operation carried out under the supervisions of Thoubal District Police SP, 5 kilograms of opium enclosed in the 6 plastic polythene bags were seized from 2 individuals who came on a 2-wheeler vehicle without registration number. The miscreants are 38-year-old Kim Boy Kipgen, the wife of Zhang Minthang Kipgen, and 19-year-old Mang Pilu Kipgen, daughter of Zhang Minthang Kipgen, both from the Moland village in Gangpokpi district. Upon interrogation, 2 other persons were also arrested with a white-colored 2-wheeler vehicles with no registration number. They are 30-year-old Lim Japao Kipgen, son of Saiko Kai Kipgen from the Bongba Kulind in the Gangpokpi district, and 32-year-old Say Min Len Khongsai, son of late Thong Lam Khongsai from the Eld Molnom village. A case has been registered against the 4 for further action. Now the news from the world of sports. Germany, Alexander Zverev and Matteo Berrettini of Italy will face off in the final of the Madrid Men's Open Tennis Tournament. In today's first semi-final of the men's singles played at the outdoor clay court in Spain's Madrid Arena, German tennis player Alexander Zverev defeated Australia's Dominic Thiem 6-3 and 6-4 to enter the finals, while in the second semi-final match, Italian tennis players Matteo Berrettini beat Casper Ruud of Norway 6-4 and 6-4 to enter the final. In men's double finals, Nikola Miktic and Mate Pavic, both of Croatia, will take on Marcel Granollers of Spain and Horacio Zeballos of Argentina. Men's singles and double final will be played tomorrow. Arina Sabalenka of Belarus has backed the winner title of the Mutua Madrid Women's Open Tennis Tournament. Many renowned tennis players from across the world are competing in the women's singles and doubles of the tournament held at the outdoor clay court of Madrid Arena in Spain. In women's singles finals, Arina Sabalenka defeated Australia's Ashleigh Barty 6-0, 3-6, 6-4 to win the women's singles tennis title, while in the women's doubles finals, Barbora Krejcikova and Katerina Siniakova, both of Czech Republic, defeated Gabriela Dabrowski of Canada and Demi Citrus of Netherlands 6-4 and 6-3 to claim the winner title. Altogether, 64 singles players and 38 doubles teams competed in the tournament. Sports Ministry's Mission Olympics cell MOC has approved a budget of 73,14,000 rupees for 4 Tokyo Olympic bound sailors to train in Europe. The sailors are women sailors Netra Kumanand in the lesser radial category, men's sailor Vishnu Saravand in lesser standard category, and Barun Thakur and K.C. Ganapathy, who will compete in men's skiff 49th event. They will participate in the sailing event, which is a part of the 32nd Summer Olympic Games to be hosted by Japan from July 23 till August 8. Though funds have been approved, the exposure tour could be delayed or even cancelled, as European nations are not issuing visa to Indians due to a surge in COVID-19 cases in the country. First, Imphal West District Masters Athletic Championship has postponed indefinitely in wake of a second wave of COVID-19. The championship was supposed to be held under the aegis of Imphal West District Masters Athletic Association at Kumalampak Sports Complex, main stadium, from the 15th to 16th of May. Manipur leveled Mr. Safaba and district leveled Mr. Safaba contests, which was supposed to held today, have to postponed indefinitely in wake of second wave of COVID-19. The contest was supposed to be held under the aegis of District Amateur Bodybuilding Association Bishnupur. Press release from the District Association said that the contest will be held once the current situation subsides. Well, that's all we have in this bulletin, but before we wind up, let's take a glimpse at the headlines once again. Manipur reports 579 new COVID-19 confirmed cases out of 3,164 test results and 15 deaths in 24 hours. Death toll reaches 476. Normal life is hugely affected on second day of the curfew imposed at 7 districts in the wake of second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Police continue to detain curfew violators. In India reports a single-day spike of above the 4,03,000 new COVID-19 cases and 4,092 deaths in 24 hours. Recovery rate stands to 82.15%. And Himanta Biswa Sharma will succeed Sarvananda Sonowal as Chief Minister of Assam. Outgoing Assam Chief Minister Sarvananda Sonowal submits his resignation to Governor Jagdish Mukhi. Thank you so much for being with us. Coming up next is Primetime Manipuri Bulletin. In the meantime, for more news and information, please do not hesitate to follow Impact TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Until then, have a great Sunday evening and always stay safe.